going on, guys? We're back, baby. Let's do it. Round 2, B&T. Here we are, baby. We're back. Now, the can was back at B&T for about a month. If you've not watched my original video on this or up on the whole T7 saga of issues that have been going on just throughout the whole thing, the original run of the B&T MP7 Legacy cans that they released prior to the gun being ready. From what I heard, they were going off of specs. They didn't have a barrel on hand to make sure everything was good. So from what I heard, the original like 100 or so cans, the timing on the locking nut was off, some dimensions, some tolerances were off. So of course, I was one of the early adopters, got the can like a year before the gun was even ready. So come to find out, as soon as the gun comes in, the can would not lock down. I don't have it locked down tight right here, but what it would do, it would spin really free like this, even looser than this, and it would wobble back and forth. So even though I opted for the retro old style MP7 nut on here, it still had that problem. So I had to send it back, and they had to retime it or whatever it is that they did to get this thing fixed. That's what they did. So while it was there, I said, hey guys, could you RAL Cerakote it for me? Because shortly after the cans came out, they came out with the shorter version of the cans, and then they started offering them in RAL from the factory. And of course, being an early adopter, you know, I had no idea the RAL was going to be a thing. Knew I was getting a RAL gun, so needed to have it matching. While it was there to be fixed, I'm like, hey, let's get it done. So they Cerakoted it RAL for me, and now the whole package, the whole thing is just looking pretty perfect to me. Probably one of my most favorite builds, obviously, that I think I've done, besides the 416, just because this is something I never thought I would own. And here we are, the MP7, the T7 by Tommybuilt. Now, the question is it gonna run? Everybody wants to know, will this run? You saw my first video, the gun was running, but I had very limited ammo. I only had a couple boxes of the good Fiocchi stuff. The green box Fiocchi has been giving folks problems, myself included. So let's see what happens here today. All right, so now with the can tightened all the way down, it does not wiggle back and forth, or forward and back, and it takes a lot of pressure to spin it. So they said that it still will probably spin. What I understand, that's part of the original design. It's okay for it to spin round some, but you don't want it to be moving back and forth. So it works, locks up right. Let's see what happens. Hey, how about that? She is running and running good. All right, so here's what I found so far. Same as before when the can was not on. Every ammo that I've tried, aside from the green box Fiocchi, works just fine, with and without the can. That right there was just the blue box Fiocchi range dynamic stuff, the 1900 feet per second. That has always ran perfect for me in this gun. In the first video you saw with no can, and still here today with the can on. Now, some of the people have said, I think Tom may have even said this, make sure while the gun's still breaking in, you know, keep it lubed, because, you know, this is a polymer-based gun. You're gonna make sure things are nice and slick, you know, especially running the extra back pressure. It's gonna get dirty, you know, with all that stuff coming back into the system. So I made sure to put oil in the whole thing, run it, keep it nice and slick, throw a couple drops in the top where the gas port is and all that, just because, I don't know, why not? And it runs. Now, the more I'm gonna run it with this can, it might start, as you can see, it's already kind of gumming up in there. But, you know, this is a gun I'm only gonna shoot for fun at the range, which also means like the can is always pretty much gonna be on. This is a dedicated can for this. It's the classic MP7 everything, so it kind of completes the package. Can take the can off and may at times, but the purpose of this build is what you see here. Still not finished with all the other stuff, but let's take some more shots. All right, what I have left in this mag is not many. It's the jacketed soft points by Fiocchi. See how this runs. I've not ran this out of the can before, but out of the gun itself, it ran fine. So we'll see what happens. Ran well there. All right, so I only have a couple rounds left of the Hornady red tip stuff, but this ran without the can. You know, cans can give things problems at times, but let's see how that goes. See if that gums it up at all. Didn't get a last round bolt hold open on that, but from what I understand, those Hornadys are underpowered or not as high powered, not 1900 feet per second like the other ones are, so I guess it's to be expected. I don't recall having that issue without the can. I think from the video originally without the can it locked open, but either way, again, to me it's not a big deal, and I'll tell you why. There's going to be people in the comments in the first video also said this, and other folks that made videos said this. Like, to me, it should run with every piece of ammo that there is. If there's only 4 brands on the market, it should run with all 4 brands. I don't disagree with that, but this is a gun, for me, I think for most people, is a gun that's not a bedside gun. Is not a gun they're going to put in their bag or a truck and be a truck gun. I mean, of course, it'd be cool to do that, but I think for most people, it's the collector piece. It's the fun range toy piece. It's just the fun conversation piece that, wow, you have an MP7, and this is what that is. So to me, if it doesn't run perfect with every piece of ammo, that's not a big deal to me, as long as it runs. And even if it's just one load, even if it's just the Fiocchi range dynamics, the 1900 feet per second stuff, then that's just the only stuff that I'll buy, because it works, and I know it works, and if I want to have fun at the range, I know I'm going to go for the ammo that works well with the gun. And it could be different for you. Your gun might not like it. Whatever, I don't know. For me, my experience is the Fiocchi range dynamics has been flawless with and without the can. So I'm just going to stick with the Fiocchi range dynamics, call it a day, have some fun. All right, so for fun, let's run the 40 rounder without the can, just to switch it up and show you that it will run with and without the can, and it'll run the 40s. Hopefully there's no problems. Didn't have a problem before, but let's do it again and hope for the best. Let's do it. All 40, no problem. I'll tell you what, I'll keep the audio up on that, but it definitely is a lot louder without the silencer on. You think, okay, 4.6, it shouldn't be like too loud, but it's actually pretty loud. Even with the ears, I mean, it's loud. Can definitely makes it a lot more quiet. I'm not sure if it's hearing safe, but definitely more quiet, which is always fun. So overall, guys, I'm just happy this thing seems to be working. It's worked here today. It worked here on my first video, except for running that green box stuff. But man, with all the issues that at launch people were experiencing with this, myself included, I'll throw in some clips if I still have them on my phone when I first got this, trying to run, and it was having a lot of the same issues everybody else was having, which I explained in my first video. Didn't show it, but it was. Every round, every couple rounds, it wasn't running, but I was using mostly that green box Fiocchi. That gives me problems still. So I really think for me in my situation, it was ammo related. Now, Tom did send me out a bolt head to swap in this, thinking it could have been that. Whether it was 100% or maybe partially the problem, I'm not sure, but I did swap it. And then after that, it has ran perfectly, except for the green box Fiocchi. So that's just a sample size of one in my gun. I don't know if people are having that same issue with the green box, but from what I've heard, the green box is an issue. All right, guys, listen, this is chapter 2. I'll be sure to link chapter 1 somewhere in this video. But let's end this off. I'm not sure how many's in there. It might be like 20 rounds left in this box. Not sure how much there is to say. It's the MP7 with the correct MP7 designated can with the old school legacy nut. Man, oh man, it is a thing of beauty. Got to finish off some stuff here. I'm going to change out the optic and things. But man, Hey, let's crack these off. Hopefully it runs smooth. Like I said, there's probably about 20 rounds in there. See how it goes. Hopefully no malfunctions. But if there is, it's not the end of the world. No problems. Bolt lock to the rear. Guys, the haters are gonna hate, but I'm here to tell you, listen, if you're one of the select handful, few people that have one of these from the first launch, I don't know how many there is. I've heard 300. I don't know if that's accurate. It could be less. But if you're actually somebody that owns this and you're watching the video, and if it has problems, I think most folks are going to be like me. You've waited your life to own something like this. You know what? It'll get fixed. It'll get sorted out. That's why I was not pissed off about it not running at first. If you're patient and if you have it, yeah, it's disappointing and you're going to be upset if it's not running, but it'll get running. One way or another, something's going to happen. You're going to get it fixed and it's going to get running. For all the people in the comments on the last video who were throwing so much hate and so much shade on me, essentially, you know, defending Tom, saying like, hey, like, it'll get fixed, like, no big deal, I get it, but hey, let's work through it. I think to those people, there's still going to be that in this video, and it's a shame in the small community of firearms that we're not, you know, lifting each other up and like working with folks instead of attacking people. But hey, it is what it is. It's the internet. People are going to be people. But all right, listen, don't forget to subscribe, like the videos, share the videos if you want to see more, and always don't forget you can follow me at Steve MP5 on the Instagrams. See you next time.